I didn't put this in my notes, but first off, I feel like it's wrong not to start off. But first, I want to thank you for that introduction, by the way. But first off, I want to give all the glory and all the honor to the one and only, you could say the Lord of Lords or the King of Kings, the Alpha and Omega, the head of the table, the tribal chief. You could say the original tribal chief. But yeah, he continues to teach me every day new things. And so today the topic of my message today will be about faith. But first off, what is faith? Faith is believing the promises of God even when we cannot see them with our own eyes. It is trusting the Lord's faithfulness and relying on His word to guide us through life's journey. Faith is a gift from God that strengthens us and helps us to persevere in difficult times. Now, faith is when you believe. You cannot have faith if you do not believe. When you have faith, it shows God that you trust in Him. It says in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. This isn't King James Version, by the way. But now, it says, now faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. Now, I don't think y'all heard that, so I'm going to say that one more time. Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. Now, let me give you an example of, I guess you can say, the confidence in what we hope for part. Now, if you know me, you know I was in the hospital in 2022 for a week because I had an asthma attack, flu A, which is the worst flu you can get, and a sinus infection all at the same time. So when I was in the hospital, it was getting so bad to the point where the doctors were scratching their heads. They were thinking about putting a tube in my throat so it can help me breathe. And thank God for mothers who speak up, because if it was not for my mother, I would have had a tube in my throat. And I'm glad you said something about it. And I don't know if my mom remembers this, but one day I was laying in my hospital bed and I saw my mom crying. Now, catch this part. I don't know if you remember this, but I asked her, Mom, why are you crying? Now, I know this is getting off topic. Now, remember, in Matthew chapter 8, verse 26, it said, you of little faith, why are you afraid? And, this is back to the story. She was saying, she was praying for me and stuff and all that. She was worried, but I was just confused in my head, Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your sympathy. But I was just confused. In my head, I was like, do they think I'm about to, die today or something? Yeah. And because I knew this wasn't it for me. This was just a new beginning. I finished on the 8th floor, and y'all already know what 8 means, right? New beginnings. Yeah. And I knew I was getting out of that hospital even better than I was before. In the Bible, it says your faith has healed you. I had faith in God, and I didn't even know it because I was still learning. Sometimes God's put these chapters in your life so you can change. And sometimes God put these chapters in your life so other people that are close to you can change. Sometimes you have to act as if your blessing has already happened. Thanking the Lord for the little things you have and the blessing you're about to receive. Sometimes you have to speak out loud what you want or need. Speak it into existence. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to pay off my bills. I'm going to win this race. I'm going to buy this car. I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to buy these WrestleMania tickets, even though they cost $1,000 per person now. Yeah, y'all already know I love me some wrestling. You got to say it with the A, not an E. Now remember this. You cannot have faith without imagination. If you see or want a certain way, then that must mean that you have a viewpoint on how you want things to go. That is in your head, your imagination, like when you're trying to draw a picture or when you're trying to build something a certain way. You have your own viewpoint on how you want things to go. Now, let me give you another example. I was going to race my teammates on my track team to earn a spot in the 100-meter dash to run in a track meet. And this was the day before the track meet, so we were trying to figure out who's going to run what. And I was scared because I was injured in my right calf. But I was still capable to run that meet, but I didn't want to run again because I didn't want to hurt myself even more. That's kind of just playing smart, I guess you can. But I was so scared to the point that putting my faith in God was the only way to get me in first place. I guess you can say that. And because the top 3 people were going to run in that meet. So I put my faith in God. When I say I was scared, I meant like I was real scared. Like I was shaking, you know. But, all my teammates were laughing, having a good time. And, just out of nowhere, before I ran, one of my teammates just said, "You got this." And he didn't even know what was going through my head. All it takes is just somebody to speak up. But I put my faith in God and I ran. I got first place. And not only that, I was leaping after I ran because I didn't get hurt. Sometimes when you put your faith in God for the little things, it can become a bigger outcome. And that was just a little track race during practice. Nobody really cared about it. I mean, they wanted to make the spot, but they laughed it off. But I cared. I always take the small things a big deal. I realized after a while that the big things are really in the small things, but that's a whole nother message right there. That's the future. When you have your faith in God, you don't have to worry about tomorrow. Actually, in the Bible it says, "Do not worry. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. I wanted to show off a little bit. I didn't have to look at my notes for that. I just wanted to show off. But as I close, I have come to tell you to keep your faith. There might be times when you waited so long and your faith has slowly faded away. But make sure you keep your faith in God just a little while longer. Let that be your encouragement note. Just a little while longer. It won't be long from now. Look at your neighbor and say, "It won't be long from now." Look at your other neighbor and say, "It won't be long from now." Look at your neighbor behind you and say, "It won't be long from now." So make sure you keep your faith and make sure you believe. I'm finished. Thank y'all.